Welcome back to the 2 Minute Warning. Today I'm taking a look at the Dallas Mavericks and going over whether or not I think they should try and sign upcoming free agent Kawhi Leonard, upcoming possible free agent Kawhi Leonard, I should rephrase to. But before getting on topic, just a quick question for those of you viewing. Comment down below, should the Dallas Mavericks look into trading Kristaps Porzingis? To me, I see it two ways. If they want to trade him for a big-time player, yes. But if you're able to get a guy like Kawhi, keep Kristaps Porzingis as your number 3 option. But you guys tell me what your opinion is. But getting straight into the topic, should the Mavericks try and sign Kawhi Leonard? To me, the easy answer is yes. I don't really know. Is there any team that shouldn't try and sign Kawhi Leonard? He's a top 10, arguably top 5 player in the NBA today. So why would you not try and add that to your team? I already did a video on whether or not the Heat should sign Kawhi, and if you could guess, it was yes. But looking at the Mavericks, should they? Of course. A lot of people are upset about the Kristaps Porzingis trade because a lot of people thought trading for him, you'd have Kristaps and Luka be this great duo. And while I thought that would happen too, it's just not working out. However, Kristaps is not worthless. If you could get Kawhi Leonard on this team with Luka Doncic and Kristaps is your third best player, to me, you're doing something right. And I just really like this Mavs team today. I'm a big fan of Mark Cuban being the owner. I like the signing of Jason Kidd, Jason Terry, JJ Barea. Dirk might come back. This is pretty much the Dallas Mavericks squad that won the NBA Finals in 2011. This is looking like a stout squad, and I think adding Kawhi Leonard to this team could really help out just the chance of Dallas making a title run and help out Kawhi's legacy and making a title run with a third team. But the biggest thing that the Mavericks have to execute in is convincing Kawhi Leonard he has a better chance winning with them than any other team, whether it be staying with the Clippers or going to the Heat, going to the Knicks, going to the Lakers, whatever it is. They got to convince him you have your best chance here. But there's a couple reasons outside of just winning that I think Kawhi would be okay and open to going with the Dallas Mavericks. One is that he doesn't have to be the star of the show, the face of the team, the voice of the team, the leader of the team, because that's not how Kawhi is. Kawhi could be the best team or the best player on his team, yet he just doesn't like to be that number one guy that speaks, that goes in press conferences, that goes in interviews, likes to lead the team. He's just not that. He likes to just shut up and play. You saw with the Spurs, with the Raptors, with the Clippers, wherever he went, while he might have been the best player, he was never the guy to really talk and be the face and the show of the team. You go to Dallas, you can be the guy that is just following in the shadow of Luka Doncic. And I know that's kind of a condescending term or statement to fall in the shadow of Luka Doncic, but that is what Kawhi wants. He wants to be on a competing team, but he doesn't want to have to be the face of the competing team. No one's taking the face of the Dallas Mavericks away from Luka Doncic. He has earned that title. He has earned that spotlight. He is in that spotlight. No one's taking that away from him, and that is something Kawhi might be open to. If he goes to LA and the Clippers, or if he stays with LA and the Clippers, there's going to be controversy of who is starring in the spotlight there. Does Kawhi have to change his personality and open up and be talkative and be more personable? I don't know. If he goes to the Heat, it's going to be hard to be in Miami, Florida and not be this personable, loud talking guy that has a great personality. It's just hard to do in the NBA, especially if you go to New York, one of the loudest, and we know how big the Knicks fan base is. There's no way you could just be this quiet guy that keeps to himself in New York, in Miami, LA. Down in Dallas, where they already got a star, I think Luka and Kawhi together could be the perfect tandem. I don't want to say they're going to go on to win the finals because, nowadays we need to see big threes. And as much as I like Kristaps to be that third best option, we have to make sure he still can even be that. Of course, I think he can. I don't want to contradict myself in the beginning of the video, but still there is questions to it. But there's a lot of big threes and a lot of big duos and tandems in the NBA that this Mavericks team would have to get through. If the Nets are going to be healthy, Kyrie, KD, and James Harden, the Bucks, Giannis, Middleton, Drew Holiday, maybe Damian Lillard's going to go somewhere and shake things up. A healthy Celtics teams. We know the Lakers are going to try and come back stronger than ever. LeBron and AD, both, if they're healthy, that's enough in some aspects. You got the Suns this year, DeAndre Ayton, CP3, Devin Booker, that's a big three. There's a lot of big star teams out there, a lot of super teams. Warriors, Steph and Clay, they're going to figure something out with James Wiseman and Andrew Wiggins. Something's going to get figured out, and there's going to be more super teams in the NBA. Not to say Kawhi and Luka wouldn't be on par with every single one of these teams. I'm just saying it wouldn't be this, easy walk through there. You got the Nuggets getting MPJ Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray come back. They're a good squad. There's going to be a lot of good squads out there that no team, I think, is going to cakewalk to the NBA Finals. Possibly the Nets in the East if it's just them and the Bucks. But as far as the West, the Mavericks, unless they get Damian Lillard and Kawhi Leonard, I just don't see any cakewalk happening in the West, no matter who the team is, no matter where Kawhi goes. And that's good basketball around. That's what the fans really want to see. We like seeing the 6-7 game series. We don't like seeing any sweeps, really, of course, unless it's our team we're rooting for. But I just don't see any reason why this team shouldn't try and sign Kawhi. They could use some defensive stoppers. They're going to lose J.J. Redick and Tim Hardaway Jr. Not that Kawhi is an exact replacement for those guys, but I think he's a replacement and then some in most aspects. Like I said, Kawhi could get you a bucket and he could get you a stop. That's what the Mavericks need. They got enough scoring in Luka. He could do everything he needs. He's already dropping several 40-point games in the playoffs. They got offense. They need some defense. And do I think Kawhi is a defender he used to be? No, but do I think he's still a good and great defensive player? Of course. I just don't see the reason as to why this Mavericks team would not try and trade for Kawhi. And I get there's other options out there. Maybe they don't want to sign a big free agent. Maybe they just want to continue to build through the draft. Maybe just add a couple of small free agents or small pieces. Not small, but smaller than a top 5 or top 10 player in the league. Maybe they'll try and reach out to Kawhi Leonard's teammate Reggie Jackson, a guy that's really put his name on the map to be in the backcourt with Luka. That would be interesting. Maybe they'll look at John Collins. There's a lot of other players out there in free agency. But to me, if you're in the running for Kawhi Leonard, you got to make a run for it, especially if he opts out and things start to get real interesting. There's always the chance to build through the draft some other time, but if you could get a top 5 player on your team, go out there and do it. Pair him up with Luka Doncic and build or create possibly the best duo in the NBA. I mean, Luka Doncic, Kawhi Leonard, is there a better duo? You could argue LeBron James and Anthony Davis. You can argue KD and James Harden. You could argue other ones out there, but again, Kawhi and Luka would be in the running. They wouldn't cakewalk to first place, but you can't tell me this team won't have championship aspirations, and that's what the Dallas Mavericks and Mark Cuban is trying to get back to. Again, I know it's easier said than done. There's a lot of money that goes into it. There's a lot of, bench and depth players you're going to need to go into it. You're going to have to consider your long-term future, just not the next 2-3 years. But to me, if you have a serious chance of getting Kawhi Leonard, I don't see a reason as to why you should not sign him. There might be something off the top of my head I'm just not thinking of, but to me, you got to go out there and sign a top 5 player if you can. A team that, like I said, it's going to be hard to try and tell them you have a better chance winning with us in the Miami Heat with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo and that big 3, or staying with the Clippers and Paul George and Reggie Jackson and Ty Lue and Zubac and, Ibaka's going to come back, Rajon Rondo, Patrick Beverly. But I just think that aspect of not having to be in the spotlight yet still being able to compete for a championship is the most ideal spot Kawhi Leonard could dream of, and therefore I think they have a big point of persuasion to get him over to Dallas. But I do want to hear from you guys. Do you agree or disagree that the Mavericks should try and sign Kawhi, and do they have a good chance because of that spotlight effect and factor they can persuade him with? You guys tell me. As always, and of course, thank you for watching. 2-minute warning.